What up, Buzz? As you know, we're still on hiatus from our regular recordings of Brum Meets World while we wait and support the actor strike. But we've missed you guys and decided to jump back behind the mic and cover some struck-free work. We present to you our new miniseries, Let's Make a Mixtape. We, of course, would love to hear your feedback, but for the time being, make sure to support the strikers, studios pay your workers. Listeners, enjoy.
Don't call it a comeback.
Don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years, walking my peers, putting suckers in fears.
Very, very pertinent considering what we're covering today. Want to tell you guys, thank you so much for coming back. This is Let's Make a Mixtape. I'm MC Ceej.
And I'm DJ Tony Coitus.
And together we are taking you to a trip down memory lane, reminiscing on those MySpace days, LimeWire downloads, and making you the ultimate brotastic playlist. Tony and I will each select 10 tracks that'll give you the Throwbacks mixtape experience.
We are jamming to music exclusively from our formative years. Now, this episode, we're doing things a little differently, because typically we explore music spanning from the 1980s through 2010, but we decided to go the extra step for this week's episode in making it exclusive to the decade of the 1990s.
1990s.
That's it. From 1990 to 1999, that's the cutoff. At the end of the episode, we will share our links to our new mixtape and let you, the audience, decide who had the better mixtape.
Per Tony's special formula, for a no-skip hot playlist, our mixtape must include these categories:
an upbeat dance number, a mid-tempo groove, a power ballad, a dance track, a catchy earworm, a self-reflective bop, a funky groove, a deep cut, some retro acoustic vibes, and finally an epic finale.
Very much like T had said earlier, you guys, this week we are doing 90s R&B. 90s, a
90s.
very, very specific type of R&B, which brings me to that. TC, take them back. Why 90s? Why R&B?
You know, honestly, this is one of the first playlists I wanted to make with you, because this is also just the playlist that for me was the hardest to make. There are so many options, and I wanted to put something together because I wanted to get a cookout playlist together. And Thanksgiving's coming up. This family holidays are happening, and it just seems like a great time to put like a playlist together of all of these nostalgic jams. Also, like we were just talking about how the club is kind of in its flop era, and to me, nothing invigorate the club more than 90s R&B and hip-hop. So I know we're not really doing hip-hop today, but there's a lot of integration there, and I'm excited to get into it.
Like he said, you guys, if you want to talk club, if you want to talk bumping and grinding, if you want to talk about pressing your body up against somebody else's and having a good time on the dance floor, nothing did it like 90s R&B. To this day, you go just about anywhere, and they're going to be playing 90s R&B if they want to make sure you're having a real good time.
Honestly, like, I'm not interested in going to a club, but if they're having a 90s R&B night, that's kind of an easy get for me.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I, very much like you, I'm very interested to see what we do. You guys, we've done quite a few mixtapes at this point in time. You know our method. You know what we're doing. You know our rules, which are draft rules, which means once a song is off the board, it's off the board. And we also try not to repeat an artist on our own playlist. So knowing TC and I'm telling you, I am so excited to see how we make it through this, because I feel like my first 5 tracks, I was just like, TC gonna copy all it is.
I have my entire playlist backed up, so like I have alternates for everything, because I did not trust that you wouldn't steal,
and you shouldn't.
But again, there's such a wide library to choose from with 90s R&B, so I'm interested to see if there's any overlap.
Yeah, don't get it twisted. Just because we stepping on each other's toes doesn't mean that there is so much music to choose from. We just have very similar tastes, specifically when it comes to this genre. That said,
by the way, hey, can I just stop and say something? Is 90s R&B to us what Motown was for our parents?
Oh, I'm 100% sure it is. Like,
okay.
There's no doubt in my mind
because
that's
I
what we're dealing
remember
with.
Motown still being like cool with like my generation of parents, like those big chill moments of people dancing in the kitchen to the Temptations. Like I feel like, especially in 80s and 90s movies, there was a lot of like these 60s type of soul that was going into pop culture a lot. So I just feel like the 90s R&B is kind of millennials versions of that.
Absolutely. And again, I will, like, you're right. You used to wake up in the morning listening to like Motown music and you knew you were cleaning. Today, if I play 90s R&B
if
music,
you wake up to that Mary J. Blige, it's cleaning day.
It's deep clean day. We doing some stuff. Okay, so let's get started with our number one. I think I go first this week.
I think you do go first.
Episode. Ooh, okay. I just want to revel in this moment, you guys, because I'm about to break TC's heart. I know that he's prepared for this, but this song could not be anything other but number one. And I know in my heart of hearts, in my depths of souls, I know I'm taking it away from T. And that is Can We Talk by Tevin Campbell.
Son of a bitch. You know what? I planned for this, honestly, because Can We Talk is the cookout song. So it's not surprising that you started off your playlist that way. It's fine. I see you, bro. You going for the throat. It's okay.
Can we talk about Can We Talk? Can we talk about Can We Talk? Can we talk for a minute? Nothing will get TC and I going like those first few notes of Can We Talk? Tevin Campbell, Can We Talk? I don't know why, but it just it just touches me. You know what I mean?
There's something about this song that's so, one of the things that I hear people talking on TikTok about now is how like people don't write love songs anymore. Yes. Like there's no guys just being like, I long for you, I yearn for you. Like it's all just like fuckboys making like club music. And so like here you have a young Tevin Campbell saying like, hey, I just want to know your name.
I want to know.
Next time I see you, I'm going to talk to you. Like it's something so small and it's so romantic within its very nature. But the way he communicates it, his voice, he has this like, you have to understand, I think he recorded this when he was 15 years old, 14 years old. He's a child.
And I was going to say, it's actually an age appropriate song too. Because like in a few years, we get Usher and he up here saying all kinds of stuff. And we like, excuse you, how old is you? But Tevin, like you said, Tevin embodies that idea of the most nerve-wracking thing I can do today is talk to you.
Yeah.
And then he's, like you said, he's begging. He is pleading. Can we talk for a minute? Come on and talk to me, baby.
I want to know. I
want to know your name. Yeah, absolutely.
I feel like Tevin Campbell didn't have the fame he should have had considering the talent he had, because his voice was exceptional. He was able to do these high notes. He was able to hold. He had power. Like everyone saw it. Like Quincy Jones saw him and was like, hey, I've been working with Michael Jackson for the last 10 years and I think you're the next one. Prince was like, hey, I think you're the next one. And like it just never happened for him.
Sometimes the machine doesn't really know what to do with you because like you aren't like, I feel like someone very similar is like Jennifer Hudson, where it's like talent, yes. Skill, voice, do we know what to do with you? Absolutely not. Couldn't tell you what songs are going to hit for you and which ones aren't. And to me, I feel like sometimes we just really need someone to like match with the right songwriter, because this song is your favorite. This song is Babyface.
Yeah, I was going to say,
somebody going to give you a hit.
This had to be a Babyface song.
Is Babyface.
We're probably going to talk more about Babyface as this playlist goes on, but it would be impossible to not talk about Babyface during a 90s R&B playlist, because not only is he a prolific singer on his own, but he also has written some of the biggest pop song R&B songs for other artists. So yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. Thank you for allowing me a minute to talk to you.
One last thing I wanted to say about Tevin Campbell is, during this period, he was infamously in the closet. And I wonder how much of that played a part in his rise to fame as well. There was one of those like BET Unsung episodes on his, and I never got a chance to see it. And I keep looking for it and I can't find it now, but I would love to learn more about like what was going on between the times he was doing his R&B bag and then eventually got into Broadway, where he was like in Hairspray for the longest time.
And again, again, an amazing talent, someone who very, very recently was able to get his flowers, and the internet like embraced him and showed how much they love him. And again, I dare any of you listeners to go into a room full of Black people and just start singing "Can We Talk" and see the harmonies.
Yeah, that naturally appear.
just oof.
All right, well, see, that was a fantastic way to start your playlist. I am a little bit jealous, but it's okay.
I figured you would plan for it, because guess what? I had a plan, but since I knew I was going number one, I was holding on tight.
So my number one for my 90s R&B playlist, I was like, how can I start this off? Now, I did have Can We Talk. It wasn't my first one, but it's fine. I have alternatives. But I was like, I'm going to start it off with just like we got to run to the dance floor. So for me, my 90s R&B playlist is starting with Ghost Town DJ's My Boo.
Ooh. Boy, you should know that. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie, that is a bop.
I've been watching you, and then the beat.
At night, I think of you.
You can't help but to twerk when it starts. It's just like you just got this thing go. That Jamie Foxx twerk. It's such an amazing song. I feel like it's still as popular. Like I'm still hearing it trending on TikTok every now and then. It just kind of has this forever life, but it's just a classic cookout song to me. It reminds me of actually going to like the skating rink, and just really just getting into it on the dance floor in the skating rink. So lots of great memories with My Boo, and it's just a great club song.
Absolutely. I don't know if you remember, but a few years ago, I think it like hit TikTok. And they were doing like another dance to it, and everybody was like, that's not the dance you do. But it was like a great divide of generations, because you had like all these new like Gen Zers talking about they were doing the Running Man, and it was not the Running Man. But it caused a great big divide, because but it also brought out all of these millennials and some Gen Xers who were like, let me show you the moves that you should be doing this. Let me show you the Roger Rabbit. Let me show you
because it's impossible not to dance when you hear it. It's one of those songs that everybody has. At night, I think of you. I want to be your lady, baby. It's just like it's constant. So like had to throw it on there. So that's how I'm starting off my 90s playlist with My Boo.
I love it. That was actually, you know what? I overlooked that one. I am ecstatic that it's on the list, because that is how you get yourself a good playlist. Okay, we're moving on to track number 2, Mid-Tempo Groove. It's funky, it's feel good, and it's also my favorite song of all time. Of all time. It's just my favorite song. Favorite music video. Like, I can just listen to it over and over again. Is it age appropriate? Probably not. But
90s R&B rarely is.
Absolutely. I'm talking about TLC's Creep.
Great song.
Y'all who aren't watching can't see. We doing the
body roll. The body roll. TLC, by the way, this music video was incredible. This is one of my favorite TLC music videos. I love the silk pajamas. And I also just love this song. Like, you're right. It's a great mid-tempo groove.
Let me tell you about this song. First of all, I don't know why. I think it just came along at the right time for me. But when I grew up, I was like this song from Crazy Sexy Cool pierced my ear, and it was all I could think about. And the use of the saxophone, the use of T-Bozz's voice, the look of Chili in his music video did things to me. And sadly, we don't really get a lot of Lisa in this.
She was in prison.
But in the music video, she also like commands it, and we still get it. And then the three of them in those silk pajamas is just like, it is honestly, you see 3 black people, or not even black people, 3 people in some silk pajamas. One of them got a little band-aid under their eye. You know what we're doing. You know where we're going.
I'm so glad that we're taking some time to just spotlight TLC, which was the highest grossing girl group of all time at that point. T-Boz's voice is so unique. She has this like really seductrous, like low alto. I feel like altos don't really get a chance to play much outside of R&B, but I feel like T-Boz just made alto so cool. You know, that Crazy Sexy Cool album was full of bangers, and they just personified that Crazy Sexy Cool thing. And so I love this whole album. TLC was actually my first concert I've ever saw.
Same.
When they went on tour with Boyz II Men in 1994, brag. But yeah, I love this song.
It's crazy, cool. Sexy, cool. Like that. Like it. I believe it's the lead single off that album, and it reintroduced the group completely because they were known as like a little rap girl group, hip hop. You know, like the very early 90s. And then when they came in with this sound and the saxophone and T-Boz's voice, and just like very much, we are no longer children, we are young women.
Yeah.
And just kind of literally giving it to you in a way that just like their voice and the sound of this song just kind of matches the flow of the silk blowing in the wind.
And also the song is really empowering for women, because the song is talking about like, oh, you gonna cheat? I'm gonna cheat too then.
I'm gonna get mine too.
Like, you're not gonna creep out on me. Like, I'm gonna do it behind your back. So I love that, you know, they've always had a very empowering message behind their songs. Their first album really focused on things like safe sex and, you know, even like, you know, No Scrubs, that whole album, Fan Mail with Unpretty. There was just so many great messages that they put behind their lyrics. So love to see them highlighted.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, a song about creeping around. Better believe I'm gonna get mine.
And like I mentioned, Left Eye was in jail for most of the recording of that whole album, which is why on Waterfalls it seems like she has that rap interlude because she wasn't around for the rest of it. So they had to find ways to plug her in.
Lisa, rest in peace, you chaotic good girl.
Lisa done burnt the house down. Yeah, great track. All right, track number 2 for me. You were talking about a funky groove. I don't know if there's a funkier groove in the history of mankind than my next song. And I just saw a TikTok about it where the singer was like, Timberland played this beat and he didn't want to give it to me.
I know where you're going.
And then I said, hey, please give me that beat. Please let me do something with it. And then it turned into the masterpiece, which is Pony by Genuine. Bow, 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 bow. Like, it's hard to do it without a sex face. Like, you kind of have to. I'm just a bachelor looking for a partner. It's such a sexy song. It's so like, it just sounds different. It sounds different from everything else that was playing on the radio. I don't know that Genuine has a better song than this one. And I think it's really a tribute to Timberland, who played a massive role in that whole like Atlanta-based R&B sound. And so you definitely hear that within the production of it. And the lyrics, I just think, are great. It's so singable, and it feels sexy. This whole thing just feels sexy.
Absolutely. Like, if you want to talk a lot about like a partner piece, Pony is the partner piece to TLC's Creep in terms of slow, sexy, memorable. Like, it is that song where, again, you can just hear the lyric very much, again, like TLC's Creep, where it's like those first few notes. Pony is iconic. And as you said, like, you hear it, you just start winding. We ain't none of us Channing Tatum, but we gonna go for it.
Right?
We gonna try.
It gives Magic Mike vibes. Also, exactly. another song that I had no business singing as a child.
Oh, absolutely.
If you're horny, let's
do it.
Riding
my pony.
My saddle's waiting. Come and jump on it. It's so dirty, but as a kid, I fucking love this song.
Absolutely. Again, to this day.
To this day.
Yeah, play those notes on the keyboard. See what you get.
Also,
best I'll get pregnant.
Just to give him a little bit of flowers, I feel like Genuine doesn't get brought up a ton when it comes to like the R&B like contemporaries of that time. But like, if you just look up Genuine on Spotify, like Differences, So Anxious, like in Those Jeans, like, he has songs. He has such great songs. And so I just want to give him a few flowers, because I don't feel like he gets brought up a whole lot outside of like Parks and Rec.
Exactly. Like he was, you know, he helped define that genre. He's pillars, specifically in a specific sound. You had said earlier, and I just want to make it, Timbaland and Genuine, I believe, are from Virginia. And it's just really important because they will come for you.
I'm sorry. But
we in the 90s, where you from is very important.
There was like a base camp, I would say. Maybe it was based out of Atlanta or just whatever. But that whole Timberland, Missy, Aaliyah, Genuine,
again, Missy,
yeah,
Virginia. So I'm just okay.
It's
important.
Yeah,
it's important.
You're right. They're gonna come for me.
They go absolutely. Pony's a really good number 2. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Here's like I feel like there's no love lost because no matter what, we getting good songs.
It's all just more on my plate, like Thanksgiving.
Exactly.
What is your number 3?
Again, I look forward to seeing how you feel about this. My number 3, Babyface. When Can I See You Again?
Oh, okay. All right. I fuck with some Babyface, bro. I love Babyface.
If we talk in ballads, I looked at this playlist and I was like, I need a 90s R&B ballad. And we have a lot of really good ballads. I look forward to seeing what yours is, but like Babyface. You're gonna slow it down a little bit. You're gonna give you some heartfeltness. When Can I See You Again is one of those where it's like I almost had it. I just wasn't gonna let it be too late, but it was almost my acoustic because it is really stripped down. And
it's him on the guitar, just singing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
In this song, When Can I See You Again, you feel the emotions.
I was gonna say
him longing for her.
It really shows off Babyface as a songwriter because the song doesn't require him to do a whole lot vocally, but what it does is to have him tell this story. I feel like he is very much in the vein of like, I don't know, like more of a singer-songwriter from like the 60s almost, the way he tells stories with his lyrics. More like Carole King almost than anything
No,
else.
absolutely.
Like,
I get what you're saying, yeah.
he just is a fantastic storyteller, and I love this song specifically because it is so stripped down and just that heartache of just like, I hear what you're saying, but even now it's not making sense.
Exactly.
So when can I see you again?
Exactly. I was literally sitting here waiting to bring up that line specifically. I hear what you're saying, even though now it's not making sense. Again, like that whole idea, like she basically is like, you're not gonna see me. Like it's not happening. And he's like, does not compute. Don't understand what you're saying.
When can I see you?
And he hit that note again.
Honestly, I think you could have chose any Babyface song and it would have been great and a great addition. He has so many, like he had one of those albums that I went out and got like his greatest hits albums. And I was like, oh, all of these songs are bops. All of these songs are hits. Like I love all of them.
Absolutely.
Great. Well, I'm glad to see that we had Babyface represent a proper Babyface song. I'm sure he'll show up again as a songwriter.
Of course.
But yeah, gotta give him his flowers. My number 3. My power ballad, I think, is maybe one of the greatest ballads in the history of R&B, and people can fight me on this if they want. But to me, this song comes on, and like you could even play this at the club. Everyone's slowing down. Everyone has their phones out as lighters, and everyone's swaying and singing because it's impossible for a group of Black people not to sing along to the song. I, of course, am talking about SWV's "Weak." I get so weak in the knees, I can hardly speak. I lose all control. It's such a fantastic song, and to this day, like I've heard other people do it. I've heard different renditions of it. As a song itself, it stands on its own. But SWV's vocals are incredible. SWV as vocalists in general, I think, are some of the better vocalists of the '90s R&B girl group era. They were able to do acapellas. They were able to have like really tight harmonies, and so and they also just have hits. Like outside of Weak, if you go to like SWV's
SWV.
right here, Rain, I'm So Into You, Can We with Missy Elliott, like they have so many hits. But Weak, I think, is maybe like I said, it's one of the greatest songs ever written.
I'm really happy I did some last minute arrangements because I had Weak on my list, but I moved it. And I'm glad I did because Weak, as you said, Weak is one of those like 90s R&B songs where it brings people together.
Yeah.
And again, it's one of those like we don't get songs like that as much anymore. And it really makes me sad because you do realize we're missing something.
Oh, yeah. It feels like I don't know, there's a sincerity to the love songs of the 90s that I don't feel like is available in music now. I feel like everyone wants to be cool. I feel like no one wants to be like what they call simping, but
Yeah,
like
exactly.
that's what made 90s R&B so good. And
it's
like
so very, very hip of you to know simping.
But I mean, even okay, I just have to break down these lyrics because to me, I just feel like the lyrics themselves, I get so weak in the knees, I can hardly speak. I lose all control and something takes over me. In a daze, and it's so amazing. It's not a phase. I want you to stay with me. By my side, I swallow my pride. Your love is so sweet and it knocks me right off my feet. Can't explain why your love makes me weak. Like it's just like it doesn't even have to rhyme. It could just be someone just talking about that feeling that you get, but it just happens to rhyme and it happens to hit at just the right parts. And I think as a song, it's so well constructed, and it's, again, I think it's a legend for a reason. It's iconic for a reason.
Absolutely. And like, to your point, we don't get love songs this way anymore.
Yeah.
Like someone declaring their love in this way is just not done as much. And it really makes me sad. Like, it makes me think, like, is it because young people aren't like in relationships as much anymore? Is it because hookup culture? Like, what is it? But like, the idea of just being obsessed with someone, or like not even obsessed, but just like looking at them. Again, we've talked about a few songs where it's like your presence just makes it hard to breathe.
Yeah.
Like, all I'm thinking about is when I'm going to see you again.
Sure.
Like that kind of yearning isn't there anymore.
Yeah, it's all about situationships. It's all about, and honestly, I rarely hear these songs from the perspective of women just being like, "Oh, I would do anything for you." Like, a lot of what I think of a classic R&B is these guys who are just like pleading to these women. But like, you know, I feel like this is also lost. Like, guys want to get romance too.
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
What I mean? We want to hear that we make you weak. Like,
exactly,
you know,
in a non-creepy way.
In a non-creepy way, exactly. So.
Okay, so are we on to number 3?
We're on to number 4.
Number 4, apologies.
Which
number 4
is our dance track. What do you got for number 4?
I think you know what I have for number 4. How could I have a playlist from the 90s that is 90s R&B and not have "This Is How We Do It"? This is how we do it.
That's a great dance song. I didn't even think about "This Is How We Do It." How could I miss that one?
Montel Jordan's "This Is How We Do It" is like, again, that's how you know we in the 90s.
I don't know that a lot of Montel Jordan songs outside of this one. I think it's safe to call Montel Jordan a one-hit wonder of the 90s.
He's not a one-hit wonder, but this may be like the highest he's ever gone.
Sure.
The only other one I would say is "Get It On Tonight."
Yeah.
You don't think like "Get It On Tonight"? Like,
no,
I mean,
it's
hello?
good. Here's the thing about a one-hit wonder. It's not like he doesn't have like you said, like C-level songs, but nothing that competes with "This Is How We Do It."
You know what? And I'll give you that. That I can't, like, it, nothing. In the words of God, who I just forgot her name that quickly. Nothing compares. That's all I was trying to go. Sinead O'Connor. Nothing compares to "This Is How We Do It."
I also just feel like "This Is How We Do It" is like, there's a few other songs from this era of the 90s that I feel like I heard at every party I went to for the next 15 years. Like "Whoop, There It Is." Like, there was just these songs that just would play. What was it? The train. Come on, ride the train. Get it right.
Come ride it.
There was just songs like that I just heard at every party. And even now, "This Is How We Do It" is like a wedding song that I hear at weddings all the time now. It somehow turned into like supermarket music at some point, but it was popping for a long time.
And you said this is our Motown. So at some point in time, this is just like, they're like, oh yeah, this will keep the old people moving.
Yeah, exactly.
We do. Again, I'm telling you, I don't know if, again, those who aren't watching, you're missing out. Because if I hear a song, my body just moves. It's got to do it.
You have to.
And "This Is How We Do It" is one of those. But okay, T, what is your dance track?
Okay, so my number 4 dance track, I had to really look through my larger 90s R&B playlist, which I've had for years, obviously. And there was one artist who I knew I had to include, and I was like, okay, well, what song am I going to include? She is the She's been called the queen of R&B. So I had to throw her on here. My number 4 song is Mary J. Blige's Real Love. I'm talking about the real love. Someone to set my heart free, real love. It's such a danceable song. It makes you feel so good. It just makes you happy when you hear it. I feel like like you said, there's so many, it's so rare to find a song that just celebrates joy and happiness within relationships instead of kind of the shittier parts of it. So like to have this person is just like, I'm just so happy that I found this real love. Like I just feel like it's audio happiness whenever I listen to it.
That's a really, really good one. I was like I was very, very mindful of who you chose when it came to Mary J. or what song, because I was like, a lot of her dance tracks are in the 2000s, so I was gonna be looking at a microscope on the time. But Real Love is in the clear.
I think Real Love is like one of her first like big singles that she had. Yeah. So
it's like we get Mary just going in her passion.
Yeah, I feel like it's one of the rare songs where we see Mary dancing. Like the fashion in that video is very like early 90s, almost Wu-Tang inspired clothing.
Yes.
I feel like Mary Jane had like the baggy like clothes appeal that like was popular with like girls in hip hop in that time. And it's just a great little like time capsule of like New York hip hop scene, even though it's an R&B song.
Absolutely. And then like let's see, I'm gonna see if I can find it. See, I'm searching for a real love and I don't know where to go. Been around the world high and low, and still I never know. How it feels to have a real love because it seems it's not around. Gotta end its way because it seems he can't be found. You
know, you're searching for that real love. You're searching for someone to set your heart free.
Yeah.
And then it shows up and it just completely changes your life. And I had to, I'm loving that there is this burst of positivity on my playlist. So
absolutely. Oh, that was a really good dance track. Okay. So we are now to track number 5. You guys, we're halfway there. And I got to tell you.
What's your earworm?
5.
I had an answer. I feel like you're going to steal mine.
I had an answer. And then I switched it. I took a poll. I spoke to my husband. He said I should switch it. So I'm switching. I'm doing a little, and we'll see if it was right move. But my earworm is Doing It by LL Cool J.
Oh, well, that's a hip hop song.
Oh, so we're not doing that one?
I thought this was 90s R&B. Are we including rappers?
Okay, no. Here's the thing. For me, Doing It felt like it could be. It felt like it was a little lower tempo. It was a little lower tempo. We're LL. Again, you guys.
I'll take it.
No, are we taking it? Are we allowing it?
We'll accept it. The council accepts.
Okay, thank you, council. I appreciate your time. But I just want to say, okay, again, we're Doing It. Again, we get the Go Brooklyn in the background, which on loop just is an earworm in itself. Doing it.
Queen, she was raised out
in Brooklyn. So again, to me, that's one of those songs where it's like I hear it, it's in your head, you're living, you're in that moment, you're in the 90s. Again, because where you at? You in Brooklyn. It's telling you right there. Go Brooklyn.
There was like whatever the DJs were doing where they were just adding that go like in the background of songs always got me hyped. And you're right, like LL Cool J was kind of the Drake of the 80s, and the way that like his rap songs could sometimes be like almost like rap sung.
Yes.
And like he was the first one to have like hip hop ballads.
Exactly. So I almost did, which was a little bit more funky and a little bit more of a hip hop, is Loungin' by him.
Yeah.
Like that one's I'll say it's a little bit more. And then also I spoke it over and we were like, what do you really remember from Loungin'?
Yeah.
It's the sample from Total. And if the sample outdoes the lyrics, then it's, I can't really do that. But again, to me, Doing It, you get the Go Brooklyn, you get the Doing It, you get like the dialogue back and forth. And that to me was my earworm. Like that's one where it's like I hear it, I'm in the 90s, I'm good, and I can just literally hear it on loop.
Well, as long as we're talking about LL Cool J, I have to say I do love this song as well. I think he released a few albums in the 90s that were really pivotal in terms of hip hop culture. And like we mentioned, there's so much overlap between hip hop and R&B that I'm not surprised that we kind of stumbled upon this. LL Cool J just seems like the type of person who really also respects R&B. He put out a song with Boyz II Men, is more than a crush. Hey, remember that Hey Lover song? Like, so good. Like, he also like was one of the first rappers to do that Ja Rule thing of just like, hey, I'm gonna have a female artist come sing my chorus.
Yes,
so like he really embraced R&B a lot within his rap, and also he's like one of the top like rappers of all time. Like, people overlook him as an MC in a ridiculous way.
Also, y'all know me. I gotta have my horny moment, my turned on moment. And if we talking 90s, sexy LL. LL. Like
with the one leg rolled up.
Like, don't get me wrong. Like, ever since you listen to some of his lyrics, specifically lyrics and songs for women, and you like, what are we doing? Why did we let this happen? And then you see that man lick his lips in the 90s, and you like, you do what you want to do, boy.
To me,
ladies love Cool James. They love him.
If ladies loved him so much, they would give him some chapstick at this point, because if he seems like it's a real persistent problem for him.
No, he knew what he was doing with them lips.
What was that? There's a great stand-up where Jamie Foxx is talking about filming a movie with LL Cool J, and LL Cool J kept licking his lips around like all of the guys. Like, it's not just something he does to like hit.
It is a nervous state.
It's just a thing that he does all the time. So it's good to keep an eye out for.
Fun fact: my aunt dated LL Cool J in the 90s. My father has a very, very funny story about like coming to LA to visit my aunt, and LL answered the phone because my dad was trying to get direction, and my dad was like, "Who is this?" And he was like, "Who is this? It's James."
Can I ask you, is your aunt's name Keisha, Angela, Pamela, Renee?
No.
So she's not an around the way girl.
No, she's not an around the way girl. Okay. Sadly, that particular aunt did pass. However, her legacy is known in our family for having been someone who got to be with LL.
During prime LL, sounds like, too.
Prime LL, too.
Wow.
Okay.
Kudos.
Yeah, thank you.
All right,
what is yours? What's your
fantastic earworm? Fantastic number 5 entry. I'm loving our playlist so far. My number 5, my earworm, is a song that I loved so much as a kid when I heard it on the radio that I immediately had my mom take me to Sam Goody. I did not know the name of the song. I just said, hey, I love this song, and it goes like da 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 da. Like, I literally was humming it, and the people there just could not figure it out, and they were like, hey, we think this is the song, and it wasn't. And so I never got to buy it, but I loved it to death. And the song I'm talking about is Soul for Real's Candy Rain. This song,
Candy Rain.
I mean, in terms of earworms, in terms of like, hey, we're gonna roll the windows down and sing this at the top of our lungs. My love, do you ever dream of candy golden rain? It's such a catchy song. I don't know much of many other songs from Soul for Real. I kind of consider them to be a one-hit wonder as well.
I agree. Absolutely.
But in terms of a hit, like, this one really stuck for me. Everyone at the record store thought I was talking about Immature. I was not. I was talking about Soul for Real. And this song is not only great, there's a fantastic remix with Heavy D that I really love too.
I'm sure.
But yeah, I love this song. Like, if I were going to put a 90s R&B like playlist together, I think it would be a real oversight not to include it. So I had to throw in Candy Rain.
I love it. Okay. So Candy Rain, we just did. This means that we are on our self-reflective bop.
Self-reflective bop. I can't wait to tell you what mine is.
Oh, okay. So again, we're going through some of my favorites. These are some of my favorite songs. And this person, not only was she knighted by a queen herself.
Oh, shit.
She is who you think of when you think of 90s. She was Beyonce before Beyonce. She was the Black girl that every Black girl wanted, tried, needed to be.
Oh, I know who you're talking
She
about.
was on TV. She was on music. She was in movies. She made all these girls sit in a chair for hours to get box braids, but it turns out she had a lace front herself the entire time. I'm talking about Brandy. And Brandy's almost doesn't count. If we're talking self-reflective, if we are talking like, Brandy's Almost Doesn't Count is literally one of my favorite songs. First of all, I love the message in general. Like,
because everybody knows almost
doesn't count. I can't keep on. I can't keep on loving you 1 foot outside the door. I hear a funny hesitation of a heart that's never really sure.
Oh shit.
Can't keep on something if you're looking for more than all that I can give you, than what you came here for. Honestly, like again, like that song. God.
Can I also just say real fast, this era of Brandy, this is from the Never Say Never album that came out in 98. Yes. This album, The Boy Is Mine, Almost Doesn't Count, Top of the World, Have You Ever? Everything I Do for You. Like, she just had so many hits from this album. I mean, her previous album was great too, but I just feel like this one really took her to like another level of stardom. Because like you said, Moesha is like one of the top shows on TV at this point. This song specifically, like I remember, don't get me wrong, Almost Doesn't Count is a fantastic song. I remember Have You Ever being that song that played constantly throughout the 90s. And so, you know, I love this era of Brandy. She was that crush. She was that girl that like all the guys wanted to be with, all the girls wanted to be like. And this is an amazing song.
Again, like, we're going to give Brandy her flowers for just a second. Let me tell you about some Brandy Norwood, sorry.
Yeah.
See, I'm so used to her being Beyonce. But Brandy Norwood was the it girl when we're talking about teenage Black pop stars.
Yeah.
Like, again, with Brandy, she, like, if she collabed with you, it was going places. Her movie, she had Disney movie sponsorships before any of the other girlies. They can all thank Brandy. Then on top of that, reminder, we have the Kardashian empire. All because Brandy's little brother found one of them attractive. Like, because Brandy was so famous, her younger brother made other people famous.
Yeah, that's how it worked.
That's also, how it worked.
And I don't think we've mentioned this, but literally the year before this album came out was her Cinderella. Yeah. So like when she and Mace put out Sitting on Top of the World, she's not lying. She was sitting on top of the world that year.
Absolutely. And as you said earlier, Have You Ever? Really good. I don't want to like say too many. Do you have any Brandy on your list?
No.
Okay, cool. Just because I wanted to like sitting up in my room again. A young Donald Faison in the music video up here, sitting up in my room was, and like again, it hit Brandy everywhere.
I love that song. That's one of my favorite Brandy songs. That's the one I debated putting on my list. Yeah,
absolutely. But Brandy, a legend, just a legend, and she will be on many a mixtape in the future. But I needed to give her flowers today, and we go with Almost Doesn't Count, Brandy.
I can't tell you how funny it is that you put Brandy as your number 6. My number 6 is Monica's.
I knew it.
Don't take it personal.
I knew it from the way you started it off. I was like, we go in Monica.
It's just one of them days that a girl goes through. When I'm angry inside, don't want to take it out on you. This is a 14-year-old girl writing about getting her period and saying, like, I need you just to leave me alone and not take this personally. I need you to understand that there's other things going on with me. It feels very self-reflective, but it's also like her saying, like, hey, sometimes I do have an attitude. Sometimes I do snap at you. Like, sometimes I overstep, but like, you just need to understand I'm going through something right now. And it's just a very mature song.
It's very mature. And honestly, like, if anyone gonna give it to you in that way, is Monica. Because I'm not gonna lie, Monica got a little bit of pick-me vibes. That's who she is. However, for her, she also got attitude. Like, so those are the two things Monica is known for: being dedicated to her man and having an attitude.
Diva.
Exactly. So Monica in Just One of Them Days. And again, it's kind of like heartfelt and vulnerable, you know?
And it's also her taking accountability. Like she says, like, as I swing back mood to mood, it's not because of you. I never want you to be insecure. Like, it's such a, like this is a 14-year-old girl singing this. Like, it's so mature for her age.
Exactly.
And it's also another one of those songs that just, ghetto, ghetto, ghetto.
Yeah, exactly, in the background.
Yeah. Again, I think it's really funny that we both put Brandy and Monica in our same positions on our playlist, but
of course.
Yeah.
We will, I guarantee y'all, we will come back to Brandy and Monica at some point in time with these playlists. We gotta do it. But that said, now we're on track number 8.
Now we're on track number 7.
Oh, 7. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm ready to get this playlist over.
You're just
with
excited, and I'm here for it. Track number 7. What's your last dance song of the album?
Okay. This was hard because, again, I had one song, swapped it because I was like, I need a bigger finale. And this song, if we are talking about fun 90s last dance song, if we're going 90s dancer, we're talking Usher.
Oh.
And that's what made me say, you make me wanna.
Oh my God. Love the song. You make me want to leave the one
away. It's a new relationship.
Usher was my personality in 4th grade, by the way. Like this whole era of
that 100% tracks. Everything I know about you.
I had the FUBU beanie with the goggles. Why? Why was I wearing goggles in 98? Why were any of us wearing goggles in 98?
Because that's what you did when you wore a beanie. Like, it's very easy. What's not following?
That make you want a music video. You have to understand that, like, you know, Michael hadn't really put anything out in a few years. Bobby Brown wasn't around. Dare I say his name, R. Kelly was pretty much locked into ballads. Like there wasn't really like a dancer in R&B like that. Like, and then Usher pops up and it's like, oh shit. And it's not like he was doing an MJ impression. You know what I mean? He just had like a style of his own. And that just really came out. I don't think his My Way album that song is featured on is his debut. I think he had one right before that.
He had one before.
Younger. But this was, I think, his most, like, this is how I think of him as like his debut, because this was his most popular. This song was everywhere. And this album had My Way. It had Nice and Slow. Like there was so many great songs on this album.
Absolutely. So a few things, like we gonna break it down for Usher. Number 1 is, like you said, Usher just kind of came into the game, and he was Chris Brown before Chris Brown.
Yeah.
And
that's offensive to Usher, but okay.
I mean, well, I'm just like, in terms of like dancing, R&B, like it, like everyone looked to him and be like, oh, he could dance like Michael, but he has his own sound. He was given very adult songs for his very young age, but ain't nobody care, because at the time was
he like 16, 17 when
he was like 16? When you make me wanna leave the one I'm with and start a new relationship with you, this is what you do. But also, Usher at this point in time the situation's out of control. I never meant to hurt her, but I gotta let it go. Okay, go ahead. That's it. No, you're fine. You're right. That's good. I love it. By the way, that's another thing about Usher that was so much fun. If you say it's 7 o'clock on the dot.
That's have you seen on TikTok where they go around and they ask black people, they're like, for your black card, where was Usher at 7 o'clock?
Exactly. Absolutely. If she don't know, she too young.
She too young. She too young.
That's one of those litmus
barometers. Yeah.
Like, it is 7 o'clock on the dot. Where are you?
Where are you? I'm on my drop top cruising the streets, obviously.
If that's not where you at, then you should be at home. Sleep,
because you're too young.
Yeah.
In all fairness, I don't even think Usher was old enough to fucking drive at the time this song came out. He was
Absolutely
such a kid.
But I was gonna say, he is the 2024 halftime performance.
When
you look at this album, when you look at like everything that comes after, you understand your boy has the catalog.
Yeah. He has such a catalog. I feel like people weren't responding correctly when he got announced as the halftime show, because they were like, Usher, really? And I'm like, he has too many songs to fit into a halftime show. Like, what are you even talking about?
Absolutely. So I just like, this is someone who we will be hearing from continuously for years to come, especially after this album. But You Make Me Wanna was a funky, groovy song that really embodied the 90s to me. And I just needed to give Usher his due.
Okay, so I need to throw this out there because we already talked about it, that, you know, obviously Babyface has played a role in many R&B singers' careers. Yeah. He did write Slow Jam featuring Monica that was on this album with Usher. And he also wrote Bedtime, which is a song I love on this album. I also want to give some credit to Jermaine Dupri, who is not an R&B artist specifically, but if I threw out the names Mariah Carey, Usher, Destiny's Child, Monica, like he was that producer who was in charge of that So Def era of R&B, which had a little bit more hip hop to it. Like it was it embraced that Atlanta Dirty South a little bit more because of Dupri. And I just feel like he definitely deserves a place in the legacy of 90s R&B.
Absolutely. Love it. Okay, what is your select?
Oh, okay. So my select for my where are we at right now?
You know, I don't know. I've been lost.
Okay. So my last dance track of the album, I included a band that I feel like, you know what? There's a lot of 90s R&B groups, specifically these like R&B singing male, you know, ensembles that were together. I need to throw one of them in there. And I kind of went through a bunch because I was like, man, like I don't have any Drew Hill on here. I don't have any Jagged Edge. Like
exactly.
There's so many good ones. But the one I ended up deciding on was 112's Only You. Only You, featuring Notorious B.I.G. and Mace, is one of those songs that I just, every time I hear it, it makes me so happy. Where do I go? What do I do? If I can't live without your love. This is a P. Diddy Bad Boy production of a 112 song. I love this song. I love this music video. I feel like this is one of Notorious B.I.G.'s best features is on this song. I think this is such a danceable groove. It makes me want to sing along to it. 112 had amazing vocals. And I just wanted to show them some love. And this is probably my favorite of their songs. Although they are another group that just like, if you were to look at their discography, you're like, oh, how do you choose over Dance With Me or Peaches and Cream? Or,
right.
Like,
here's the thing.
So
in reality, what was so funny is for 112 specifically, I didn't put it on it because I'm telling y'all now, this is going to be my select. I will fight you when we do it, but we got to do a Slow Jams mixtape. Yeah. And 112's Anywhere. We can make love in the bedroom.
Yeah, there's so many, man. They do such a good job. And like until this day, I feel like you could throw on their songs at the cookout and people will respond 100%. To it. So yeah.
Oh, I see you use this playlist as a cookout playlist.
Well, honestly, like my cookout playlist and like my Thanksgiving playlist aren't that different, if I'm being honest. So
how could they be? I mean, in reality, we coming together, we come to this place for good times.
For good times. So my number 7 track, Only You, 112. Throwing it out there.
I like it. That's a good one. Number 8. This is
number
deep cut,
8
right?
Is the deep cut. And I'm so interested to see what you chose because I struggled with this one the hardest, for sure.
Well, the thing about number 8 is we said deep cut. This song that I chose, not that deep of a cut.
Yeah.
But it is one where doesn't get the praise that it deserves.
Sure.
And I don't think it does. Because these two artists are amazing artists on their own. They have amazing discography. They have so many iconic songs, especially one of them, especially in the 2000s. And so they just have other things going for them. But the song from the 90s that I felt needed to be represented in this deep cut is Maya and Cisco's It's All About Me.
Ooh, okay, throw a little Maya on the list.
Exactly. That right there, that reaction, that ooh, okay. that's why I did it. Because it's all about me. First of all.
Is that her first song? Was that her first single?
I don't know if it's her first single. I actually really should look it up. But the thing about Maya and It's All About Me is her collab with Cisco. First of all, Cisco on the record is gonna be a bop. He gonna give you his all. Cisco ain't met a song that he didn't want to go all in on yet.
Yeah.
That's first and foremost. Second of all, the song is about Maya owning her own sexuality. She was like, yeah, you get yours, but tonight It's all about me, me, me,
Me,
me,
me,
me.
me.
Forget
Forget
about
about
you, 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 you.
you.
So what you gonna do? Are you gonna get it up?
Oh.
So yeah.
I love Maya. I didn't choose Maya because so many of the songs I love by Maya, I realize are outside of the time parameter. But I am glad that she got on here. And again, Cisco is kind of a legend in his own right for his role in Drew Hill. I feel like Thong Song may be kind of cliche at this point, but I feel like Incomplete is a fantastic song that gets overlooked all the time.
God, Incomplete is a genuine bop. Drew Hill, How Deep Is Your Love for Me?
How deep? Yeah.
How we gonna it's gonna be?
How deep is your love? Like Drew Hill was one that I just like. There's too many Drew Hill songs. I can't like. There's too many.
Yeah, absolutely. But like again, I'll
These are the times. These are the times.
Okay, so I'll say this with you because I want to know. Me and my husband have this rivalry on which version of Sleeping in My Bed or In My Bed by Drew Hill is the version.
Oh, okay.
Because there's the original version and then there's the remix, the So Def remix.
The So Def, yeah, that's the best one.
See, I disagree.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
But that's his choice too. He like, no, you go So Def remix. And I'm like, nah, the original Sleeping in My Bed by Drew Hill. Again,
I was always a sucker for a So Def remix.
I get it. That makes sense. Honestly, you said Jermaine Dupri.
Yeah.
Okay. So what is your number 8?
Okay, so again, my deep cut is not really that much of a deep cut. I've realized that doing this a few times with you now, that like I could choose to put out a song that I genuinely love, or I could try to win.
You learning. He can't be taught.
I'm adjusting a little bit to choose a song that is the not most popular song of an artist or group that I feel like people probably know a little bit of. And for me, this was the reason why I'm choosing this group is because this was the first CD I ever had, was from this group. They have a few songs that you probably are familiar with, but the song I chose for my number 8 deep cut was All for One's I Can Love You Like That.
Wait, remind me of that song.
I can love you like that. I can make you my world, move heaven and earth. If you were my girl,
yep,
I would give you my heart, be all that you need. I love All for One. All for One, obviously, they're probably most well known for I Swear, which was the big song that came out in like 94. Love I Swear. And honestly, that song is probably deserving to be on this playlist as well. But
that's where I'm at. I'm with I Swear. I'm letting you talk, but if y'all see me just dancing, just know I'm listening to I Swear in my headphones.
Honestly, listen to as many All for One songs as you can. I love All for One. They're one of my favorite 90s R&B groups. They don't get a lot of credit, although I feel like they're one of the few groups who could do acapella really well. Every single album they threw an acapella song on there just to show off their chops. I Can Love You Like That and I Swear were both turned into country songs after All for One released them.
Wow.
So people are very familiar with the country versions of them, even if they're not familiar with All for One singing them and the original recordings. But I Can Love You Like That, it's just a great song. Their voices are great. Like I actually randomly met the lead singer of All for One in LA when I first moved here, and he was super nice to me, and I just always remember that. Yeah,
that's good. Absolutely. So here's like I'm not gonna lie, for me, we're still on track number 8. Like you said, I felt like one of the deep cuts that I should have done, I had already mentioned when we did our boy bands, which was The Right Kind of Love by Jeremy Jordan. Like I was gonna do that.
You would throw a white boy on
I do. Here's the thing. That's why I didn't do it. That's why I was like, I'm not gonna be the one who come to the cookout and bring the white boy. I'm not doing it.
So. Although, in all fairness, in terms of bringing white boys to the cookout, I almost put John B on the playlist.
I knew you would. I was waiting for you to put. I was waiting for your deep cut to be John B.
John B has so many great songs, and I would have thrown him on here. But yeah, there was other songs that took precedent.
Exactly that, and then also Lisa Stansfield's "All Around the World."
Oh yeah.
I can't find my baby.
I don't know.
So again, I didn't do it, but just know that they was waiting outside in the car.
All right.
Okay, track number 9. This
Track
is
number 9. Okay.
Retro Vibes acoustic.
Yeah.
Again, I used my When Can I See You Again, which would have been my acoustic. So I went retro. The music videos, throwback. The sound, throwback. The harmonies, throwback. I am talking about En Vogue's Giving Him Something He Can Feel.
So happy En Vogue found their place on our playlist, because I almost put Don't Let Go by En Vogue. So I'm so glad that they're on here. Another fantastic vocal group. Like the way that En Vogue would be able to do acapellas or just perform live always left people in awe at just how tight their harmonies were, how just strong and powerful of singers they were. And like, again, this is one of many amazing En Vogue songs. Free Your Mind, Hold On, My Love, and You're Never Gonna Get It. Like, there's so many.
But this particular one, give him something that he can feel. First of all, we start off with a shoo-doo. Shoo-doo-doo-doo. Shoo-doo-doo-doo-doo.
Well, this is a remake of an Aretha Franklin song, and it definitely has all of those vibes on there.
Which is why I said I chose it for my retro vibes. It's giving us old school harmonies. The music video. Amazing. Oh my God. Watch that and tell me it don't move a little bit. Like you watching that, the way those women look in all red, like you got your what is it called? I think it's like 1920s jazz club-esque setting.
It kind of has like a Jessica Rabbit type of vibe to the music video.
Almost, absolutely. And I think his name is Adewale Akinu Agbahe. So sorry, I messed that up really badly. He is.
It sounds like you just cursed at me in Swahili.
He's Nigerian. He is a well-known African actor, and he's in that music video.
Oh yeah. Okay,
I know what you're talking about. Real young, real thin in the face, but they giving him something he can feel. And
such a sexy song. Even when Aretha did it, it was a sexy song. But yeah, they were just able to add kind of a little extra sex onto it.
Absolutely. And you're right. Like, I didn't think about it, but like everything about it is almost modeled after Jessica Rabbit. And I just want to say, nail on the head. They did it. They did it right. So that's my throwback. That's my retro.
Love it. Love it. All right. I'm going to tell you what my acoustic song is, and you're going to know it immediately. And I feel like you're going to be a little mad that you didn't think of it, because I love this song. And I feel like everyone I know loves this song, but they forget about it. They often forget about it, and they often attribute the song to the wrong singer. Because it sounds like a Babyface song, but it's not a Babyface song. I, of course, am talking about Tony Rich's Nobody Knows.
No, but I almost had that on mine.
Nobody knows it but me. Oh, sorry. Love this song.
Go ahead.
Yeah, this is just one of those, like, it's an acoustic song. It's just a man playing guitar, and he's just singing these lyrics about how he feels heartbroken, and nobody is understanding what he's feeling. And the lyrics, which I love, by the way, like a clown, I put on a show. Pain is real, even if nobody knows. Now I'm crying inside, and nobody knows it but me. It's just an amazing song. His vocals really are, I think, pretty impressive on the song. And it just has this, just like, you just get so wrapped up in the song as it kind of climaxes instrumentally, to the point where when he finally is just like singing full vocals, you're just like, you feel the pain in his voice. So I just think it's a great song.
Very fun fact that I just saw now that I found very interesting. It became a hit overseas, topping the Irish singles chart.
Oh shit! I guess it kind of sounds like a sad drinking song in a way. Just like
absolutely. I just thought that was really funny, and I was like, okay, come on.
No, that is really funny. But yeah, he got a Grammy award, Grammy nomination for the song. Like, it was maybe a one-hit wonder of his, but yes, I think it definitely deserves to just be thrown and just to remind people of it, because it's an amazing song.
So it's your deep cut and your acoustic.
Yeah, although I don't feel like it's that deep. I feel like if you were around when the song came out, you definitely heard it. You definitely heard it on the radio.
Absolutely. Okay. A really quick recap.
Yeah, let's recap
all the ones that we have. I have number 1, Can We Talk, Tevin Campbell. Number 2, Creep, TLC. Number 3, When Can I See You Again, Babyface. Number 4, This Is How We Do It, Montel Jordan. Number 5, Doing It, LL Cool J. Number 6, Almost Doesn't Count, Brandy. Number 7, You Make Me Wanna by Usher. Number 8, It's All About Me, Maya and Cisco. And number 9 is Giving Him Something He Can Feel, which brings us to our number 10. This was hard. I had someone, but I felt like they were a little too poppy. So I still went back. I brought in like just a classic, someone you can't go wrong with. And I am giving it to Say My Name by Destiny's Child.
Oh, okay. And with a little Destiny's Child on the playlist.
Little Destiny. Like we had to have Destiny's. We got our 90s, and that's what I'm gonna go with. 90s, Destiny's Child, Say My Name. I feel like it's iconic. I feel like it's a good way to wrap us up. And it doesn't give me like the ballads that I think we could, but that's because the other direction I was going. Let me know if this counts. Let me know if this counts. Remember the Time by Michael.
I mean, they're both 90s R&B. I would count
Are
them
they?
both. Yeah, I think they're both 90s R&B.
Then I'm going to Remember the Time. I'm going to Remember the Time.
Yeah,
like, I thought you was going to say he was a little too pop. So
you know what? I would say that, but actually with the Dangerous album, Michael specifically hired R&B producers, Terry Jam and Lewis are, the ones that worked with Janet all the time.
It felt a little New Jack to me.
He was specifically trying to make a New Jack album. So I think that counts as R&B, bro.
Then we Remembering the Times with Michael.
All right, so number 10, Remember the Time.
Number 10, Remember the Times. I'm glad I asked. I'm glad I talked it out. But yeah, Remember the Time, Michael Jackson.
Do you remember?
Exactly.
Fell in love? I'm never going to say no to Michael Jackson, bro. Like...
So that's my number 10. Number 10 is Remember the Time by Michael Jackson. I actually, again, let's talk about music video.
Remember the Time music video is the one where Eddie Murphy is Pharaoh.
Yep, exactly.
And basically Michael is trying to plead to the Pharaoh and he ends up trying to like smooch on his wife a little bit while doing a dance number.
Exactly. Absolutely. That music video was a moment. It was a premiere. It is like 13 minutes. It has Magic Johnson. It is just movie. Like a 90s music video that we 100%. Just don't get in the same way outside of Beyonce, the one who almost like subbed for him in this list. And Remember the Time just gives us peak Michael. We got light skin, black hair.
He was in this ponytail era. Yeah.
You're right. We were in the ponytail era. But when the ponytail come out, though?
I have to throw this out there that Teddy Riley actually wrote and produced that song. So it's R&B as R&B can get.
That's good. I'm glad I talked it out.
And it was directed by John Singleton, by the way, from Boys in the Hood. Like, he tried to be as black as he possibly could with this one, man.
That's because he had gotten as bright as he could be.
Poor Michael. I love this album. I love this song. I think this is one of the most R&B songs that he's ever made. Like, he has a few albums, like his Off the Wall album is very R&B, Invincible's R&B. This is probably the most fun R&B that I think he's put together. Very New Jack Swing. I love this song.
I just gotta tell you guys, you don't understand how happy I am that I was able to make that switch, because I listened to and I was like, what do you end with? You end with Michael. You end with something big. And Michael, do you remember, girl? Like,
yeah. And also, it's like, we're listening to retro songs. So it's kind of like, do you remember the time when we used to dance to these songs all the time? I think it works, bro.
Absolutely. And then on top of that, again, kind of with everything we've been talking about, Michael begging, pleading, just like a way that you don't get anymore. And this song is, again, just the epitome of like a good girl, don't leave, come back. When we first met. Yeah. So yeah, that's my select. That's my number 10.
Fantastic cap to your playlist. I do think I did a little bit better though, so I'm excited to tell you mine. But let me first recap what I have for my 90s R&B mixtape. Number 1, I have Ghost Town DJ's My Boo. Number 2, Genuine's Pony. Number 3, Weak by SWV. Number 4, Real Love by Mary J. Blige. Number 5, Candy Rain by Soul For Real. Number 6, Don't Take It Personal, Monica. Number 7, Only You by 112, featuring Notorious B.I.G. and Mace. Number 8, All For One's I Can Love You Like That. Number 9, Nobody Knows by the Tony Rich Project. And to me, I couldn't think of any other way to end a 90s R&B playlist than with Boyz II Men's End of the Road.
You know what?
This is just like, hey guys, last call.
You did it.
End of the road.
You did it, bitch. Like, this is a good way to end. I don't understand how I did that.
To the end of the road. This is just like, again, one of the most iconic songs of all of the 90s, of all of R&B. I think this was written by Babyface as well. Like, it's just, I think probably their most famous song of Boyz II Men. Maybe it's up there.
I don't get
it's
up
in
there.
the top 5.
The thing about Boyz II Men is they got songs battling it out. It really just depends on the time of the day, who you talking to. Like,
this song was featured on the soundtrack. As a lot of our songs that we talked about have been featured on soundtracks, by the way. We're kind of avoiding talking about strike work, but
and we're doing what we can.
Yeah, we're doing what we can. But I just want to throw that out there, that some of these songs were featured on soundtracks because soundtracks were prioritized in the 90s, that like it almost created this new space for creativity to emerge. And from that came all of these great songs that we love, including End of the Road. And yeah, I just think this is, you know, I saw Boyz II Men live. They were my very first concert. I've seen them live a bunch of times. They always end with this song for the most part, and it's always a crowd pleaser. I think I've mentioned this before, that I went to the NKOT BSB concert.
Yes, you did, all the time. And
I'm going to keep telling it because I love it. I love the story. Boyz II Men shows up and they all sing End of the Road together, and it was a magical moment. So yeah, End of the Road is how I'm ending this playlist. Although there were many options for how to end it, this just felt like the best way to do it.
Well, I'm really glad that I changed mine at the last minute, because I don't think I could have competed. If, like, Michael is the only thing I think would have come close to End of the Road, Boyz II Men. Boyz II Men, End of the Road. I believe, did they play this? No, they played It's So Hard to Say Goodbye.
Yeah, which is another great song,
Barack Obama's final
finals.
And I thought that was so on point. But also, End of the Road is one of those songs where it's like, it hurts me to listen to, because it's like, it's such a mix of emotions. In some way, it kind of like reminds me of like Meet Me at the Crossroads, in the sense of like, it can be like a sad, like almost funeral song.
Well, it's the end of a relationship. It's the end of the road.
It's the end of the road. But also the way that again, one thing that I'm realizing is he begging. Don't go, girl. Please come back to me. Please come back.
End of the Road, by the way, don't know if you know this, their most streamed song.
Really? It's for numerous reasons, I believe. You can use it for a breakup. You can use it if you just like 90s R&B. You can use it for a funeral song. Like, it's a really good, timeless song that has many purposes, and their voices on that song, again, it just reminds you why they're icons.
I also feel like Boyz II Men is like what the Beatles were to like 60s like rock bands. I feel like Boyz II Men is to 90s R&B groups. Like, every R&B group was trying to get to that Boyz II Men level, because their musicianship was such a, like, in a class of its own. Like, the harmonies that they were doing, like, not to take anything away from any of the other R&B groups, but like, it just felt like they were classically trained. Wanya, as a vocalist, is one of the greatest vocalists of all time. Like, he competes with Stevie Wonder in my mind in terms of what he can do vocally. Like, he could just acrobat his way around a song. And, you know, you have Michael still in the group, still providing that deep bass, really filling out the sound. And to me, it's just peak Boyz II Men.
A Modern Temptations, so to speak.
Modern Temptations, definitely.
And on to that note, kind of like full circle, I was watching something the other day that talked about how it was Nick Lachey from 98 Degrees saying that everyone was trying to be Boys to Men.
Yeah.
Like that's what they were trying to do, because Boys to Men came in, changed the game. Their vocals, their sound was so not unique, but so impactful that all the other boy bands who came after was like, that's who we want to be.
Yeah.
Which led to a little culture vulture named
Lou Pearlman.
Well, Lou Pearlman. But yeah, absolutely. Thank you. I love your playlist. I think anybody who listens to either playlist, they're gonna have a good time.
They're gonna have a great time
going out here, but there has to be a winner. So you guys, you got to go up here. Let us know on our socials which playlist you thought. Is it my 10? Is it TC's 10? Do you have 10 of your own? Please give it to us.
Do we have time to talk about tracks that didn't make it?
Oh, let's talk about some bonus tracks. I already gave you guys a little bit of bonus tracks in the Jeremy Jordan of it all, in the Been Around the World. Some songs that I didn't, Anywhere by 112, like I said. There are some more that I will leave on the cutting floor because we're going to do a slow jams, and these are perfect slow jam songs. Sure. One of the ones that I almost did for my earworm, but it got voted out. Nobody, Keith Sweat.
Oh yeah.
Nobody
who can love you like me.
Nobody
who can do it all that long.
Nobody like that for the Nobody alone is why I wanted to do it. Just you know what?
I like Twisted better than Nobody personally. Love Twisted.
Just Kicking It, Escape.
Just Kicking It, yeah. Kick off your shoes and relax your feet. Yeah.
And then last one that I didn't use was So Into You by Tamia.
Oh, I had So Into You on my... Okay, yeah. Let me tell you some of mine. I had So Into You. I had Love You Down. Let me love you down. Great song. Angel of Mine by Monica. What my deep track that I was considering was Donnell Jones's Knocks Me Off My Feet. Do you know that one? I see us in the park. It's a Stevie Wonder remake, but like the big ones that I was really debating on that I had a hard time not including were Are You That Somebody by Aaliyah. That was a hard one not to include.
I'm gonna tell you right now, I went through Aaliyah's whole discography and being like, where can I go? What can I do? And to be honest, as much as I love Aaliyah, most of these songs I was like, they were easily replaced by something like Creep by TLC. Yeah. And that was it. It's just like Aaliyah, you would just beat out because there was someone who was already like cemented in that position.
You Mean the World to Me by Toni Braxton was on mine.
It was on mine. It was my alt. Song. If I didn't get When Can I See You Again, You Mean the World to Me was going to be my ballad.
I love that one. And if I couldn't use End of the Road, I was either going to cap off with Back at One by Brian McKnight.
Is that not 2000s?
I didn't include it, but I thought it was 99. I could be wrong, but...
Hold on. I'm looking it up. 1999. You're right. You got it there by skin of your teeth.
Skin of your teeth. And the other one I was considering closing on was All My Life by Casey and JoJo, which I still think is an amazing song and deserves to be on a playlist like this.
Another one where it's like you play it, especially at a wedding.
Absolutely. Oh, baby.
I'm praying for someone like you.
Nothing good. Yeah, love Casey and JoJo. But yeah, unfortunately, they did not make my final list.
Is that also a Babyface song? Because it sounds like it would be.
All of these sound like Babyface songs, right? Like he's just ghostwriting everything. Also, Meeting in My Bedroom by Silk. There's a meeting in my bedroom.
I told you, Silk is going to be on my slow jams. We're not doing it next week, y'all. Don't worry about it. But slow jams playlist is coming because we need that mixtape. We need to get y'all in the mood. Okay. Well, you know what? Thank you guys so much for taking the time, listening to us. As we said previously, please go listen to our playlist on Spotify, YouTube, see which playlist you prefer. Let us know your selects, what we missed. And remember to reach out to us on our socials at Bromance World. We're excited to jump back into season 7 when it is time. But until that day, We hope to see you soon at Bruh Meets World presents Let's Make a Mixtape.
This episode of Bruh Meets World presents Let's Make a Mixtape was produced by Ceej and edited by Tony Curtis. Bruh Meets World presents is a 2 free tokens media production.
Absolutely. All my life, I pray for someone like you.
Yeah.
We didn't even talk. We got to do like a best riff. People who come in with like, best ad-libs.
The ad-libs.
Absolutely. Again,
I was an ad-lib. I was probably so obnoxious because I was such an ad-lib kid when I was listening to the radio when I was in the car.
Exactly. I told you, Cisco gonna give you some warbles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Later, Russ.
Later, bro. Russ.